Be ready. 5 seconds. Start. I have had the unique experience of seeing for myself the determined efforts which are being made over a wide range of related specifications to get at the root cause of cancer and evolve effective measures to further improve upon early diagnosis of the disease. Apart from the enormity of the scientific commitment involved in such a program, there is the challenge that such an immense task poses to the pioneering spirit and the ingenuity of mankind. Here, one realizes the supreme importance of the human factor, which only can make dedicated research and follow up treatment possible. Nothing is impossible for the human spirit. A cancer containment program has several dimensions, the most important of them being money, equipment, and trained manpower endowed with a sense of mission. It would be very difficult for the developing countries with limited resources and with very many other pressing demands and competing priorities to undertake such a vast program on their own. Developing countries would do well to avoid duplication of effort and instead evolve practical and pragmatic programs both in the short and long term to build upon the experience and expertise developed over the years by the developed countries. In this way, scarce resources can be more purposefully employed. It is, for instance, as urgent and important to bring relief to those suffering from cancer as it is to mitigate the anguish of those near and dear ones who have to watch from the sidelines. To a lay person, the immediate problem would appear to be one of early diagnosis. This would necessarily mean the involvement of a large number of highly trained personnel in various specializations, organized into many self contained task forces, all of them well integrated to form part and parcel of broad-based forward-looking program for the identification of the disease in its early stages and then initiate adequate follow-up action, either medical or surgical. The importance of trained manpower cannot therefore be overemphasized. As highly specialized training is involved, it is only at institutions like those under whose auspices this conference is being organized that effective training program can be conceived, given practical shape and translated into coordinated action in laboratories and research centers, in units in the field, and at base hospitals where more sophisticated diagnosis and treatment may be necessary. The significance of facilitating a concerted global approach to planning and in the dissemination of technical know how and expertise is therefore a matter of utmost urgency and importance. Developed countries have a special responsibility in sharing with developing countries the result of their pioneering experience in research and development, early diagnosis procedure, and subsequent treatment, as is feasible education and rehabilitation. we have made a more than modest beginning in India. On an occasion like this, it is but fitting that we take note of the work done by the Indian Cancer Society and the Tata Memorial Center. The Indian Cancer Society is a pioneer institution in Asia to provide vocational rehabilitation facilities for those afflicted with cancer. The specialist courses being organized by the Bombay University in cancer surgery and its related specialization is a significant development with far-reaching consequence both to us and our immediate neighbors. We shall be happy to share our experience and expertise with any country who may call upon us to do so. The community and the individual have a role to play in a complex and far reaching program of this nature. The probable causes of cancer, as at present known, point to the need for disciplining ourselves as a community and as individuals in order to maximize the human contribution. Smoking, betel nut and tobacco chewing and pollution of the environment in its various forms can be regulated by well conceived programs for education and publicity as well as by legislative action. Civic sense must prevail over all other considerations because the health of the community at large and relief from suffering are overriding considerations. The role of professional organizations is assuming greater and greater significance in shaping the destinies of individuals and nations. At the policy making level, professional organizations are being increasingly associated with the formulation of long term policies and programs. As keepers of the nation's conscience, it is the duty of professional organizations like yours to educate the lay public on proper lines so as to gain acceptance for a concept of public health which will ensure good living conditions for generations to come. Doctors have been in the forefront of national movements and are natural leaders in that sense. On you, therefore, rests the wondrous responsibility of spreading enlightenment on the various aspects of cancer prevention, control, and care. This is a very heavy responsibility, no doubt, but I am sure that medical profession with its noble ideals and its record of service will not fail humanity at this critical juncture.